I've just come back from the writing zone. You see, I used to hate to write. Not that I love to write now, mind you, but at least now I've learned a technique to deal with writing. In the past, whenever I'd get a writing assignment, I'd break into a cold sweat and spend hours worrying about how to start and what to say. But then when I'd finished, I never felt that what I had written was any good. But then I had this unique experience where I was visited by these four, spirits who taught me that writing is a process, that there's a step-by-step approach to writing anything, especially essays. They also taught me that writing is rewriting. Now, this is how my journey into the writing zone began.
Your assignment, class, is to write an essay on money.
As usual, I didn't know how to start my essay and felt that I didn't have anything to say. So I spent a lot of time doing what I usually do when I have to write an essay. I stared blankly at the computer screen, hoping for some idea to pop up, but as usual, I saw nothing.
Hello, Nick.
Who are you? How did you get here?
Welcome to the writing zone, Nick.
Twilight Zone?
No, the writing zone. You're having trouble with your essay, correct?
Yes, now I think I'm going nuts.
You're not going nuts. Nick, what's writing?
Torture, humiliation, drudgery.
It doesn't have to be, but that's not what I mean. First of all, think of writing as a process. What's a process?
Something you do step by step.
That's right. You need to approach your essay as a process, step by step. There are three major steps to writing, not just in writing an essay, but in writing anything. The first step is pre-writing. Pre-writing is when you come up with an idea, develop a thesis, and create an outline.
You mean I don't just sit down and write?
No, that's a mistake that many people make. The second step is writing. Writing is when you actually write the essay. And the last step is revising. Revising is when you revise what you've written. Nick, three spirits, Mother Prewriting, Master Writer, and Ms. Revision will soon lead you through the steps to the writing process.
Spirits? I feel as if I'm in a Twilight Zone version of a Christmas Carol. I think I'm ready for the loony bin.
Nick, you're doing fine.
When are these spirits going to lead me through the writing zone?
You're already there. I'll return after you go through the process. Good luck. And Nick, have fun.
Sure. Have fun.
Why do they always call me on such short notice?
Are you okay? Can I get you something?
Not while the meter's ticking. Let's get to work. First, let me introduce you to what prewriting is. Prewriting is what you do before you actually start to write. It's probably the most important part of the process. It involves coming up with a topic, developing a clear, workable thesis, doing research, and coming up with an outline. The order of how you pre-write might change, but what's important is that you pre-write. Nick, how do you choose the topic to write about?
I usually stare at my computer screen and hope for some bright idea.
That's not very productive. What does your assigned essay have to be about?
Money. Or something about money.
That's always an interesting subject. Now, how do you zero in on money to come up with a topic? Well, there are a number of techniques you can use. The two I find most useful are brainstorming and listing. When you brainstorm or list, you put, without censoring, whatever comes into your mind onto the page or screen. With brainstorming, you don't worry about grammar, spelling, punctuation, or anything else. You just put down whatever pops into your mind. Listing is like brainstorming. However, with listing, you categorize ideas, but in no particular order. Nick, now you make a list of all the possible money topics you can write about. Also, Find one that interests you, one you know something about, or one you'd like to learn more about. You should always do that whenever you have to write about anything, because if you write about something that interests you, or something you want to learn about, you'll be more motivated and the writing process will be less of a chore.
Money-making schemes, money in graduation, college and salary, money in college, making money in college, salaries, starting salaries, college and high school salaries, college graduate salaries, non-college graduate salaries, and money after college.
Do you see something you want to learn about?
Maybe starting salaries.
Can you get more specific with that topic?
Starting salaries of high school graduates versus starting salaries of college graduates.
That sounds more focused. Okay, now you have your topic. Let's move on to the next step of the process.
Which is?
Coming up with a thesis.
That dreaded word.
Nick, what is a thesis?
It's what your paper's about.
No, it's the point you want to make about your topic.
But I don't know what I want to say about high school and college graduates' salaries yet.
You have to say something. You have to take a stand. Sometimes students develop their thesis after they've learned about a subject, after they've done some research. But you probably know what you want to write about, so let's come up with what we call a working thesis. The working thesis could change as you do research. Nick, the thesis is probably the single most important part of your essay. To write a good thesis, you must come up with a subject that's neither too broad nor too narrow. Also, formulating a thesis at first will help you in two ways. First, you will know at once whether you have a clear, workable thesis. And second, you can use your thesis as a guide while writing your essay. Characteristics of a good thesis are: it asserts one main idea. It states the writer's clearly defined position on some subjects. It always has something worthwhile to say. It's clearly stated in specific terms. What is it you want to say about high school and college graduate starting salaries?
Probably how much more college graduates make than high school graduates starting out.
Okay. Now type your thesis. The thesis statement must be written in a complete sentence. That is, it must have a subject and a verb, and must be expressed in one complete thought. That's too broad. Also stay away from words like all. It's hard to support that all college graduates make more money than all high school graduates. It's best to say most college graduates. That's better. It's more specific, more to the point. Now, what's our next step?
Backing up your thesis with support.
That's right. Support, support, support. You have to support your thesis with specific details, and specifics to support your thesis can come from almost any source. From books, magazines, newspapers, pamphlets, monographs, laboratory reports, videotapes, movies, news pictures. Live sources can also be used. For example, quotes from experts in the field, or if appropriate, anyone who has anything to say in the subject. The writer can also use himself. As you do your research, you'll often find your thesis changing. That's okay, because it's becoming more specific. Good luck in your research, Nick.
I think I found all the support I need.
Good. Now you're ready to write your outline. the last step in the pre-writing process before you actually start to write your essay. Master Writer will help you with that.
Master Writer? Master Writer.
After Mother Prewriting visited me, I began to feel more confident. And for the first time in my life, I also felt that I had some control over what I was writing. Mainly because my thesis statement gave me a direction. It helped me focus on one thing and stopped me from going off in 100 different directions. That's what I always used to do.
Master Writer?
That's what they call me.
What took you so long?
Traffic.
Traffic? What kind of traffic?
Word traffic. This is a very busy time of year for us. How's that outline coming?
Is an outline really necessary?
It'll make writing the essay easier.
But I'm having too much trouble with it.
Come with me.
Wow, how did you do that?
This is the writing zone, Nick. Anything can happen. Now let's get back to your outline. I want you to think of it as a map or blueprint of your essay. Here's an example of an outline structure you could use. However, you might want to create your own way of outlining, something that works for you. But let's use this outline for the sake of your assignment. The title is centered at the top of the page.
But what if I don't have a title yet?
Then just write title. You can decide on the title when you finish the essay. The thesis statement is written below the title. It is then broken down into the main points that you will use to support your thesis. Main points are indicated by Roman numerals. Subpoints, or secondary points, should branch off the main points. They should be indented and identified by capital letters. Keep in mind, main points support the thesis, and subpoints support the main points.
That's a bit confusing.
Let's get to a computer. Hopefully, when you've put together your own outline, it will become clearer.
It's really cool that you can do that.
Now let's get back to your outline. Type in your working title. Now type in your thesis statement. That's a good thesis statement. It's narrow and focused and written as a complete sentence. Now, type in the first main points to back up your thesis statement. Now type in the subpoints to support your main point. Now type in your second main point in the subpoints. And remember, subpoints, or secondary points, will contain the material you use to support your main points. Now type in your third main idea. An outline allows you to see the entire essay in miniature and permits you to examine its structure as a whole.
How do I get from the outline to the essay?
Before we do that, I want to digress for a moment and say something about rewriting. Because Writing is rewriting. Writing is rewriting. Writing is rewriting. And you should expect to write 3 drafts before you complete your essay. And expect each draft to be better than the one before.
3 drafts? Huh, that's something to look forward to.
Now let's expand your outline into an essay, into paragraphs. Nick, what's a paragraph?
A group of sentences on one topic.
That's correct. It has a topic sentence, development, and frequently a conclusion.
But I always wondered, how long should a paragraph be?
Long enough to support the topic of the paragraph. But before we get into paragraphs in general, I want to talk about the opening paragraph in particular, mainly because I can't stress enough the importance of the opening paragraph, which is also known as the lead. The lead must capture the reader in the first paragraph. Otherwise, the rest of the paragraph may never be read. The aim of the introductory paragraph is to hook and hold the reader. It attracts the reader's attention, presents the thesis statement, and sometimes both indicates a plan of development and supplies background information. Just as the introductory paragraph should grab the reader's interest, the concluding paragraph should satisfy the reader. Now, Nick, write a first draft of your opening paragraph.
This part always makes me nervous.
That's normal. Just plunge right in.
Now go on to the next paragraph. And remember, Nick, a paragraph does 2 things. It makes a point, and it proves a point. The first sentence, the topic sentence, makes the point, and the supporting details in the body of the paragraph support it. Your point must be related to the thesis of the essay, and each paragraph should advance your discussion of the thesis in at least one small step. Another function of the paragraph is to signal the introduction of a new idea, or the further development of an old idea.
The characteristics of a well-designed paragraph are unity, support, and coherence. If you advance a single point and stick to it, you have unity. If you support the point with specific evidence, you have support. If you organize and connect the specific evidence, you have coherence. With coherence, the varied elements within your paragraph hold together, connect, cohere. A paragraph also has coherence when its sentences are logically connected using transitional words and phrases, pronoun references, repeated key phrases, and parallelism. Nick, remember, good paragraphs are always filled with facts, examples, instances, and details, but none of these is simply listed. All are analyzed or used in conjunction with some point you are trying to make. Now, Nick, you're ready to write your concluding paragraph. It should include a final thought and sometimes a summary.
Remember, Nick, your essay is not finished until you have completed the last step in the process, revising your essay. Well, that's it for me. Happy revising, Nick.
Don't tell me. You're Miss Revision.
How's the masterpiece?
You know, I think I'm really finished. I don't think I have to do any revising.
Don't minimize the importance of revising. Come with me.
I just love it when you guys do that.
Nick, here are some questions you should start to ask yourself when you are revising. What can I do to this piece of writing to make it most effective, interesting, compelling, inviting? Ask yourself, does it make sense? Is it well supported? Is it written in terms the reader can understand? Does it move smoothly from beginning to the end? Or does the reader have to backtrack and skip around? Now, Nick, start revising your essay. And ask yourself even more questions. Is your title descriptive enough? Does your opening sentence and paragraph grab the reader's attention? Have you removed all unnecessary words? Did you over-explain? Have you been specific enough? Have you developed your thesis throughout the essay? Do you have enough support for your thesis? Have you avoided trite or cliche expressions? That is, expressions that are worn out by constant use. Check for grammar. Make sure the subjects and verbs agree, that nouns and pronouns agree, and so on. Have you been consistent with one verb tense throughout? If you start in the present tense, make sure you do not switch to the past tense, and vice versa. Have you corrected all run-on sentences and sentence fragments? A run-on sentence is two complete thoughts handled as one sentence, and a fragment is an incomplete thought presented as if it were a sentence. Have you varied your sentence structure? Don't forget spelling, and make sure you run your essay through the spell checker. And last, Nick, did you end with impact? Will your essay give the reader a satisfied feeling when he or she is finished reading? And don't forget to proofread your essay before you hand it in. Good luck, Nick.
Hey, wait a minute. How can I contact you? I wish they wouldn't just disappear.
Nick, you've made it through the writing zone, and now you're ready to hand in your paper.
Thanks for all the help. I feel more confident now. Next time when I have to write an essay, I won't get frazzled.
Remember, Nick, writing is a process with 3 important steps: pre-writing, writing, and revising.
Yeah, writing is rewriting.
Good luck with your essay.
Thanks again.
crowded. He didn't need me anymore for that purpose. The ones from the free beach would climb over the fence and swim around it. So now he